हम श्री गुरो शिवता पदकमलं गुरु वैष्णवांश श्री रूपम सागर जाताम सागना रघुनाथाम तम तम सजीवम साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजना सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगना ललिता श्री विशाखामृताम स नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठा भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पासाद्य स्थाने ज्ञानकल्पतरुवैशा कृपा सिंधु पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरसे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपसा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्ते सत्कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलचंद्रवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय च नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण. Verse, Kalanpu, do you remember?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I think 15, I believe, Prabhu.
Okay. So 15 to 18.
Yes, Prabhu. Last week we concluded 14, so we have to start from 15.
15. Okay. So just a minute, I'll show the PPT. So this mantra number 15 to 18. So till now there were instructions on how to perform karma and gyan together. And now mantra number 15 to 18 are the basically prayers to reveal the spiritual form of the Lord. So mantra number 15, the devotee requests that please remove your dazzling effulgence so that I can see your face. And Prabhupada would many times quote this mantra number 15 to show that how even ISOPANISAD says that Lord has a form. Same thing then mantra number 16. Mantra number 17 is a request to the Lord that, my dear Lord, please remember whatever I have done for you so that I can get liberation. And mantra number 18 is requesting the Lord that please allow me to come nearer to you. So this mantra number 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. So we'll start with mantra number 15. So we'll recite. Maybe some devotees can repeat after me. This is worth memorizing, actually, this verse. Hiranyamena patrena satyasyapihitam mukham tattvam pushan apavrino satya dharmaya drishtaye. Please read translation.
O my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotee. Hare Krishna.
So just a minute. What has happened? So in this way, in this verse, devotee requests the Lord to show his form. So as I was telling before, this pastime, which comes in Brahma Vaivarta Puran, where Manu Maharaj was doing tapasya. At that time, some demons who were empowered by Lord Shiva, they come there. They try to eat Manu because they were very, very hungry. And all these Rakshasas had a boon by Lord Shiva that they can never be defeated in any war. So Manu requests or prays to Lord Yagya to save him. So that time Lord Yagya, who is his adopted son as well as grandson, he comes and saves Manu, and then he offers the prayers given in ISOPANISAD. So this Manu's face was covered, this Yagya's face was covered with glaring effulgence, and in this verse he is requesting Lord to remove the effulgence so he can see the face. So here the word Mukham is very emphasized by Prabhupada, saying that there is a Mukham, there is a face of the Lord. How do Mayavadi, they do word jugglery? They say Satyasya Peta Mukham means face of the truth. As if it is a, you can say, adjective. It's more of an adjective than, or some metaphor, than actually talking about face. But face is mentioned here. And especially somebody is talking to someone else and he's saying face means there has to be face. So that is what our acharyas emphasize on. Now you can read all these points, then I'll explain one by one.
Hare Krishna. The Lord is addressed as Pusan, the ultimate maintainer, both material and spiritual worlds. The Lord created these Vrindavan pastimes to attract the dry speculators and the acrobats of the so-called Hatha Yoga system who wish to find the absolute truth. Since it is said that Lord Krishna never leaves Vrindavan Dhama, one may ask how he manages the affairs of the creation. This is answered in the Bhagavad Gita 13, chapter 14 to 18 verses. The Lord pervades the entire material creation by his plenary part known as the Paramatma or Supersoul. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Lord is mentioned here as Pushan Karta. That means he's maintainer. Nityo Nityanam Chetana Chetanam Eko Bahunam Yo Vedati Kaman. So among all the conscious beings, there's one conscious being. Among all eternal beings, there's one eternal being. And he is very special because he maintains others and fulfills their desires. So that is how Lord is different from ordinary living entities. So Lord is called here as Pushan or Poshan Karta, maintainer. So that is how he is different. So we are dependent on Krishna. Krishna is independent. And Lord comes and performs his pastime for the purpose of attracting everyone, whether it's Jnani, Yogi, Karmi, anyone. But only by devotional service we can see his face. So that's why Prabhupada quotes this verse: Ittam satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasam gatanam pardevatena maya satanam nardarkena sakam vijarukrit punpanja. So Ittam satam brahma sukha anubhutya. So the same Lord who is perceived as Brahma Sukh, means as Brahman by Jnanis, and they take the Sukh or pleasure in that. Dasya Gatanam Paradevatena. And those who are devotees, they see him as the worshipable Lord. And Maya Sitanam Nardarkena. Whereas ordinary people, they think that he is also ordinary person, made up of Maya. But Sakam Vijaharu Krita Punna Punja. But these boys, cowherd boys who are playing with Krishna, they are able to play with him because they have accumulated a lot of spiritual credits in the past life. So that is how they have this opportunity to play with Krishna. So Lord in this way attracts all the living entities. And it requires a qualification to see the face of Krishna. So only by devotion service can one see the form of the Krishna. Otherwise, people just see the effulgence of Krishna. Like in many other religions also. In one of the religions, they say, our saints were there and they tried to look toward the form of the Lord and their eyes were burnt. So one of the major religions of the world, they have a theory like that. And that's true. Because the reason is, until you have devotion towards Krishna, you can't see the face of Krishna. And those religions who don't have any description of the form of the Lord, how can they even talk about the love for the Lord? Because first we have to see the personality, then we become attracted to him. But when we don't know the form of the Lord, what he likes, what he doesn't like, his pastimes, where is the question of becoming attracted to him? So that is how they are like powerful pastimes. Yeah. So that's how form. Devotion is required to see the form of the Lord. Now somebody is saying, if Lord has a form, then how can he maintain the creation? So that is what Prabhupada quotes here. Maya tadam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matstani sarvabhutani nacham hetu avasthita. Thereby impersonal feature, Krishna pervades the entire creation and maintains everyone. So he doesn't have to leave his form to maintain. Yeah. Please read these 3 points also. They're like very important purport.
Sri ISOPANISAD points towards this direction, praying for the removal of the Hiranmaya Patra, the dazzling covering of the Lord. Unless this covering is removed, so one can perceive the real face of the personality of Godhead. Factual realization of the absolute truth can never be achieved. Perfect knowledge means knowing Krishna as the root of this Brahman effulgence. The living entity should never be considered the all-powerful supreme truth. If he were the supreme, he would not need to pray to the Lord to remove his dazzling cover so that the living entity could see his real face. Hare Krishna.
So the very fact that living entity is praying to the Lord to remove the dazzling cover is that living entity is subordinate to the Lord. If he was Supreme Lord, they can see themselves only, na? Why you have to see the Supreme Lord? You look on mirror, that's all. Like in Mayavadi sometimes say, we are God, we are God. If you are God, why don't you look in the glass and just worship your own image? Why you have to worship some separate person? That means you are subordinate. So, Hiranyamaya Patrena. So, Hiranyamaya Patra is the vessel containing the effulgence. And devotees requesting, please Lord, remove it. Ultimately, Brahman effulgence is actually the effulgence of the Lord, which consists of living entities. Only difference is it is not material, it is spiritual. So like sunlight is composed of photons. Similarly, the Brahman effulgence is composed of living entities. So Prabhupada writes that how better than Karmi is Jnani, better than Jnani is Yogi, and better than Yogi is Bhakta. So Karmi remains in this world, Jnani attains Brahman realization, Yogi attains Brahmaratma realization, Bhakta attains Bhagavan realization. So those who attain Brahman realization, they know they are not aware of either material potency or spiritual potency of the Lord. Because they say this world is false. So it has no potency of the Lord. And they have no awareness of the spiritual potency of the Lord also. Those who Paramatma realization, they understand that Lord has material potency because he is a creator, maintainer, and destroyer of this world. But they don't believe in spiritual potencies because they are not aware of the spiritual world. Vaikuntha planets, Golok Vrindavan. Because Paramatma realization generally means realization of Garvadaksha, Karnadaksha, and Chirudaksha Vishnu, whose function is basically in this material world only, not spiritual world. But those who have Bhagavan realization, they realize both material potency as well as spiritual potency. The Lord is creator, maintainer, destroyer of this world also, as well as of the spiritual world also. He maintains spiritual world also. So this is about by Prabhupada. And now what we will do is, we will go to other acharyas. What other acharyas say? Yeah. So just a minute. So more or less, it is like a similar meanings. Wherever there are differences, I'll let you know. Yes. So Madhvacharya, he says, "O Vishnu, your form is covered by a brilliant sun. Please remove the covering so that your devotee can see the form." So here, Satya means Lord who is full of qualities, and Dharma means Dhat, to hold. So Satya Dharma here would mean a devotee who holds the Lord in the heart. So why Lord is called Satya? Because whatever Lord speaks is the supreme truth. So there's a verse in Bhagavatam which comes in Garbhastuti. When Lord Krishna was in the womb of Devaki, that time the demigods pray. So this verse is as such, like this. Sattvatam satyaparam trisatyam satyasya yonim nihitam cha satye. And then satya netram satyas vistam nihitam cha satye. Okay, I forgot the next line. And then satyam nihitam cha satye. Satyatmakam tam saranam prapanna. So this verse is composed of Satya, Satya, Satya. Lord is called Satya many times. So this verse says Satyavratam. Whatever vrata Lord takes, whatever vow Lord takes, that comes to be truth. Satyavratam. Satyaparam. So there may be many relative truths, but Lord is the highest truth. Satyaparam. Tri Satyam. So in all the three worlds, or in the past, present, future, Lord words always remain true. What were true 50 years ago or 100 years ago is not true today. 50 years ago, 100 years ago, or you can say 50 years ago only, after World War II, mechanical engineering was the best branch. Now it is not there. Now everybody wants to become a software engineer because there is money in software. Satyasya yonim. And then Lord is the origin of all the truths. All the truths come from the Supreme Lord only. All the words come from the Supreme Lord. Nihitam cha satya. Satyasya satyam rita satya nitram. Now you remember this line also. Satyasya satyam rita satya nitram satya atmakam tam saranam prapanna. So you are Satya of Satya. So there may be various truths in this world, but what you speak is the highest truth. So we may have our understanding of the truth, but Lord is considered highest truth because generally we are supposed to speak the truth so that it causes happiness in the people. But when Lord is speaking, whatever Lord speaks is the supreme truth. So when Karna, he was like his chariot wheel was stuck in the mud and he was removing the chariot wheel. So that time Krishna told Arjuna, kill him. Arjuna said that it is not appropriate, Krishna. I am a Kshatriya and he doesn't have a weapon in his hand. Krishna told, kill him. I am telling you, kill him, you kill him. Arjuna was about to kill. That time Karna said, oh, beholder of the truth, you say that no, you are Dharma personified. And now Arjuna, you are trying to kill me. So Arjuna says, yes, my Krishna is saying he's saying is right. I can't kill him. And then when he was hesitant, Krishna says, I am telling you to kill him, just kill him. Arjuna wanted to kill. And then Karna said that how can you establish dharma when you yourself are taking shelter of adharma? So what you are doing is totally against dharma. And then Krishna starts speaking. Krishna said, my dear Karna, today you are remembering dharma. Where was your dharma gone when, because of your words only, a lady was about to be disrobed in the entire assembly? Because of you only, Draupadi was about to be disrobed. Because you are the one who provoked Dussasana and Duryodhan to bring Draupadi. You are the one who were telling to disrobe Draupadi. Where was your dharma gone at that time? And when Abhimanyu, who was just 14-year-old boy, 6 people together, they attacked Abhimanyu simultaneously. That was totally adharmic. It was wrong. And actually speaking, even Samba, when he kidnapped Lakshmana, it was Karna who provoked all the people to together come and fight with Samba. So he was telling that time you don't remember your dharma. Now today you are remembering the dharma. I'll tell you what is dharma. Whatever I speak is dharma, and whatever is against it is called adharma. So that's why Krishna is called Satya Se Satya. Whatever he speaks is the supreme truth. So that's why Lord is called Satya, and one who bears that Lord Satya within his heart is called a devotee. Satya Dharma. Dharma is Dhrat. Dhrat means one who holds in the heart. So here in this verse, this devotee is praying that, my dear Lord, Hiranmaya Patrena, your face is covered by the effulgence of sun, according to Madhvacharya, because Lord also stays as Surya Narayan in sun planet. That is ultimately Krishna only. So what he says is that, my dear Lord, remove that effulgence so that I can see your face. So please show your face to your devotee, who is Satya Dharma. And Vedantiska, what he says is, the mind of Jiva is covered by golden covering made up of ignorance and passion. O Lord, maintainer of my devotion, please remove that covering for realizing you, which is natural function for a pure Jiva. So he is comparing here that effulgence to be the effulgence made up of passion and ignorance. So that means person who is already fixed in the knowledge of Brahman now can utilize this mantra number 15 to 18 so that he can get the final result of his karma, that is getting Brahman. And according to him, Pusan here refers to Paramatma, who maintains everyone. This Vedantisika speaks. And Pusa also refers to pleasurable object, whose life of demigods, it's like more like a Brahman realization, that how everybody is ultimately Brahman. Satya here, according to him, refers to Jiva, and Mukha means mind of Jiva, who has great attachment to mode of passion and ignorance, which are obstruction in his meditation. And according to him, Hiranya Patrena is golden vessel, referring to the mind of Jiva, which is covered by mode of passion and ignorance. And this can also refer to various types of enjoyments which come through karma. Yeah, so basically he is requesting to get that intrinsic nature of Jiva, that is within of Paramatma. Okay, Baldev Vidyabhushan, he says the similar thing. The form of the eternal Lord is covered by brilliant rays of the sun. O Naresar, uncover your form so that your devotee may see it. He tells same thing. Now Guru is you need Guru's mercy and Lord's mercy. So that's why 15 to 18 are prayers. Okay, now we'll go to last one. Yeah. So Hiranyamayan, another meaning of Hiranyamayan is golden. Hiranyam is gold or brilliant. Patrena means patra is a vessel from which people drink water or something. So here it's called sun. Hiranyamayan Patrena would mean sun planet, from which people drink the sun rays. Satyasya would mean indestructible person. Apihita means covered. Mukham is face or body suitable for pastimes. Pusan means nourisher. Apavaranu means uncover. Satya Dharma means devotee like me, and Drishti means direct perception. So what here he means is the form of Paramatma is covered by a vessel of light. O sun, please remove the covering so that we can see the nature of Paramatma and its eternal qualities. So that's Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says is, my dear Lord, though I can see, but your light doesn't allow me to see your wonderful qualities. And that is why I am covered by your Maya Shakti. So please remove this effulgent covering so that I can see your face. So basically, things are very clear from all acharyas that there is a request to the Lord to show his face. Now, mantra number 16. You can read it after me. Pusan ekar se yam sur prajapatya.
Pushan ekshare yama surya prajapatya
Vyuharasmin samuha.
Vyuharasmin samoha.
Tejo yatte rupe kalyantamam.
Tejo yatte rupam kalyanatamam.
Tatte pasyami vasavaso purusa sohamasmi.
Tatte pasyami yosau asau purusha soham asmi.
Actually, it is not poetry, it is prose only, but still we could recite. You can read translation.
Yes.
Translation given by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Oh my Lord, oh primeval philosopher, maintainer of the universe, oh regulating principle, destination of the pure devotees, well-wisher of the progenitors of mankind, please remove the effulgence of your transcendental rays so that I can see your form of bliss. You are the eternal supreme personality of the Godhead, like unto the sun, as I am I. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah. So here when it is said as am I in the last three words, you can see last three words in the translation, it is referring to qualitative oneness according to Prabhupada. So it's not referring to quantity but a quality. So Prabhupada in this particular purport, beginning, he tells how sun planet is compared to Golok Vrindavan, sun god is compared to Krishna, and sun molecules are compared to living entities. So Brahman effulgence is composed of living entities, jivas. But impersonalists, they can't see the Goloka due to its glaring effulgence. And then Prabhupada emphasized on the word Pushan. Pushan means maintainer. Maintainer has to be a person. Any impersonal light cannot maintain us. So that's why he's saying he has to be person, God has to be person. So that person is called as Bhagavan, according to Jiva Goswami. And the meaning of the Bhagavan is given by Prabhupada. Bha means Bharta, means maintainer or guide. Ga means, Prabhupada writes as guide, leader, creator. And Van means infinite knowledge, potency, etc. So one who basically maintains us, one who guides us, and he has that potency, infinite potency to maintain and guide us. That is called Bhagavan. And then Prabhupada writes that how Lord maintains, guides, awards his devotees. Okay. So he says that although living entity is given a facility to lord it over material nature, but actually Paramatma is the real Purusha, real controller. And this is like beautiful one. Somebody can read the second last paragraph and last paragraph, both you can read. From there, thus there is a gulf of difference.
Krishna Prabhu. Second last paragraph means from where Prabhu?
Hare Krishna.
Thus there is a great gulf of difference.
Thus there is a gulf of difference between the living entity, Atma, and the controlling Lord, Paramatma, the soul and the super soul. Paramatma is the controller and Atma is the controlled. Therefore, they are in different categories. Because the Paramatma fully cooperates with the Atma, he is known as the constant companion of the living being.
Yeah. So if you see this line, it's like very amazing. Paramatma fully cooperates with Atma. So Atma just desires and Paramatma fulfills all the desires. And a pure devotee is different. He is supposed to fully cooperate with Krishna's desires. And we are in between. Sadhakas are in between. Sometimes we ask Lord to fulfill our desires and sometimes we try to fulfill Lord's desires. Or there's mutual interest also. That, my dear Lord, I would feed you what you like, and then I'll also enjoy. So that is how we offer prasadam. So we are in between. Yeah. Please continue.
The all-pervading feature of the Lord, which exists in all circumstances of waking and sleeping, as well as in the potential states, and from which the Jiva Shakti, living force, is generated as both conditioned force is generated as both conditioned and liberated souls, is known as Brahman. Since the Lord is the origin of both Paramatma and Brahman, he is the origin of all living entities and all else that exists. One who knows this engages himself at once in the devotional service of the Lord. Such a pure and fully cognizant devotee of the Lord is fully attached to him in heart and soul. And wherever such a devotee assembles with similar devotees, they have no engagement but the glorification of the Lord's transcendental activities. Those who are not as perfect as the pure devotees, namely those who have realized only Brahman or Paramatma features of the Lord, cannot appreciate the activities of the perfect devotees. The Lord always helps the pure devotees by imparting necessary knowledge within their hearts. And thus, out of his special favor, he disputes all the darkness of ignorance. The speculative philosophers and yogis cannot imagine this, but they more or less depend on their own strength. As stated in the Katha Upanishad 1.2.23, the Lord can be known only by those whom he favors and not by anyone else. Such special favors are bestowed upon his pure devotees only. Sri ISOPANISAD thus points to the favor of the Lord, which is beyond the purview of the Brahma Jyotir. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So this verse basically, Prabhupada writes in the purport that how it's only by devotee that Lord reveals the knowledge, Lord removes the effulgence, Lord does all the things. Whereas Brahmavadi and Paramatmavadis, Lord doesn't bestow such a mercy upon them. Now I'll read from Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya has given very beautiful commentary. Some of these commentaries are really. So Madhvacharya, if you see this verse, Pushan basically means the maintainer. That is mentioned in previous verses also, but other verses basically refer to different demigods. And Lord is called by the names of the demigods. And the reason is that ultimately all demigods are part and parcel of the Lord only. Like all departments are under Prime Minister, similarly all the demigods are under Supreme Lord, and that's why Lord has all the potencies of all the demigods. Sometimes Mayavadis quote this verse to show that how everything is one, all demigods are one. No. All demigods are part and parcel of Krishna. That is why Lord is called by all these names. So he is called Ekarishi. Ekarishi means as he is principal form of knowledge. So that's why he's called Ekarishi. Yama means basically Yamraj. But here Lord is called Yamraj because he controls everything like Yamraj. He is called Surya. Surya because he is goal of all Suris. Devotees are called Suris. He is goal of all Suris. That's why it's called Surya. He is called Prajapatya because he is goal of Prajapati Brahma. Aham. Aham means aham. Ham is to discard. Aham is not. So we can never discard Lord from our life. We are part and parcel of Krishna. Whether we may forget it, we may remember it, is a different thing. But we are eternally part and parcel of Krishna. We can't discard Krishna from our life. We are part and parcel of Krishna. That's why he called Aham. Asmin here means as he is situated in all beings and has respect for Jiva's separate existence. That means he respects our independence. If we want to forget Krishna, Krishna allows himself to be forgotten. Ketu here means he is the form of knowledge. Agni here means Agni means one who guides, one who leads. So Agni means body, Ni means to lead. So he leads all our bodies. So that is how Madhvacharya has basically quoted a similar verse from Brahmana Puran, and he says that is similar verse, and from there he gives all these meanings. Vedandiska, O Lord, supreme nourisher of the devotee, O Lord who sees everything, O controller of everything, O giver of intelligence to the devotees, the ruler of all jivas, please remove the fierce rays which hide your form. Please gather together your glowing effulgence. May I see the form of yours which is most beautiful. I, the Paramatma dwelling within me, is he who is that person in the sun. So Sohamasmi means here. It's not Sohamasmi, I am that. Sohamasmi means the Lord who is within me as Paramatma. He is the same one who is there in the sun as Surya Narayan. See why Puranas are called the supplements of the Vedas, or basically they are called the explanation of Vedanta Sutras or explanation of Shrutis like Upanishads, etc. Because in Puranas things become very clear. So in whole ISOPANISAD you not find a single name of Krishna or Vishnu. Because people are supposed to be intelligent enough to understand that. But then Brahmana Puran, this verse is basically referring to Vishnu only. So devotee is praying. So there can't be any confusion when you go to Brahmana Puran. That's why those are very intelligent can just learn from Upanishads. But people of Kali, like all of us, who are either Sastri, Vaisya, Sudra, or Dvijbandhus. So they are not considered very intelligent. So all of us in Kali are Sudras. Because very few people are trained. So for them, Puranas are there. They gave the same meaning of the Upanishads, etc., in a way that there is no confusion. Unfortunately, what has happened is these Mayavadis and Brahmavadis, they are also Sudras only. They're fools. They don't have brains. Kali people don't have brains. Still, they will indulge into Upanishads and Puranas, Upanishads and other Vedanta Sutras, etc., and try to understand on their own. So when you do that, what happens is there is a confusion. That is how they are misled. So whereas in Brahmana Puran, this verse which is quoted by Madhvacharya, there it is clearly written, Vishnur ek rishi gyeyo yamo niyamanatat harihi. So Vishnu is the one who is referred as ek rishi, Yama, Niyamanat, Surya, Suri, everything is mentioned there. So that is how these Puranas make Upanishads very clear. So Lord, why is called Hiranyamayan Patrena? Because one of the names of Lord is Aditya Varnam. Aditya Varnam means one who has color like that of sun. That is why it is referring to Vishnu. This is very clear. No confusion about it. So I here refers to famous person who is the sun, who is in the sun. I, so Asmi, so Aham. It also indicates Paramatma within Jiva, since Paramatma is soul of Jiva. And it can also refer that I am like you. That means I am Satchidanand, my dear Lord, you are also Satchidanand. So that's why please show me your form. Baldev Vidabhushan speaks similar thing. He says, O Narisar, O wise sage, O controller, O object of the devotees worship, O Vishnu, withdraw your rays and remove your effulgence so that I can see your beautiful form. That form in the sun planet is also present in another form. I am he. So basically, he is referring that, Lord, please contract your form by removing effulgence and bestow knowledge to me. So please remove the rays which obstruct my vision and take away your effulgence so that I can see your most beautiful form by your mercy. So here, according to Baldev Vidabhushan, Soham refers to that I became that person, means it is an emotional expression uttered by a devotee. That, oh, I have become, it's like, no, I am going to be one with you. We are going to be united. It is the meaning of that, not meaning of merging. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how he refers is, O Pushan, Egresi, Surya, Prajapatya, remove your rays, restrict your light. Then I can see your most auspicious form. I am qualified to see that form because you, the complete person and Paramatma, you are portion in the material world, and we Jivas are all spiritual by nature. If you are merciful, I can see you. Basically, here Soham Asmi, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is like saying that, my dear Lord, see, I am also Sachidanand, you are also Sachidanand. So because I am Sachidanand, you are Sachidanand, that's why we are relatives. I have relation to you. So based on that relation, my dear Lord, please show me your form. So basically, in a Hindi we say it is Bhai Bhatijavad. Those who are North Indian, they understand. That means you somehow make a relationship and request a person to do your work. So similarly, here a devotee is saying, my dear Lord, I am ultimately your part and parcel only. So please bestow your mercy and remove the effulgence so that I can see your face. So Lord enters in the world as Purusa and regulates Maya. So being shelter of his energies, he gets names like Pushan, Egresi, etc. That means all these qualities of demigods are automatically in Krishna. So here basically in this verse, a devotee has requested that I am also Sachidanand, you are also Sachidanand. So please remove your effulgence and let me see your face. Now, last two verses are basically verses which a devotee speaks before getting perfection, or for a Brahmavadi before entering Brahman. Last two prayers are there. Vayor anilam amritam
Vayur anilam pantam
atedam bhasmantam sariram
adinam pasrantam shariram.
Om Kritosmar Kritam Smar
Om
Om
Kritos
Krito
Smar
Smrta
Kritam
Kritam
Smar
Smara.
Krito Smara Kritam Smar.
Krito
Kritos
Smara
Smara
Kritam
Kritam
Smara.
Smar.
Please read a translation.
Let this temporary body be burnt to ashes, and let the air of the life be merged with the totality of air. Now, O my Lord, please remember all my sacrifices, and because you are the ultimate beneficiary, please remember all that I have done for you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So Vayor Anilam Amritam. So by Pranavayu, one subtle body is carried from one body to another body. So basically it is referring to temporary body. Let the subtle body be destroyed, let the gross body be burned into ashes. And my dear Lord, please remember whatever devotion service I have done. And based on those credentials, please allow me to enter in the spiritual realm. So that is what he's praying. Okay, so what Prabhupada writes in the purport is that ultimately subtle body, soul has a form, so subtle body has a form, subtle body has a form, that's why gross body has a form. So body has a form because soul has a form. So soul is not formless. So according to one's propensities for sense gratification, one is given different bodies. Those who want to eat stool get a hog's body. Those who want to sleep gets polar bear's body. And then Prabhupada talks about theory of evolution, how we evolve. Not body doesn't involve. Living entity enters in different species and evolves the consciousness. And yogis, they control the life air, Vayu, which is mentioned here, and they enter in different planets just by this Vayu. But the highest perfection is to attain the spiritual body, to go back to Godhead. Because living entity has a material spiritual body by which he functions in the spiritual world. But those who are not reaching Vaikuntha planets, they come down. Patanti adho, which Prabhupada refers. So they don't become one with God, they become unsatisfied there and they come back. And then he says how Brahmajyoti consists of spiritual sparks. And living entity prays here to go back to Godhead. So then he says that only devotees perform devotion service, so they can say, my dear Lord, remember whatever I have done, please allow me to go there. And those who have not performed devotion, what will they speak? Om Kritos, my Lord says, oh, you did all sins, go to hell. Only those who do devotion service can say at the time of death that please remember whatever I have done. But those who do sinful activities, they can't say. So whatever we have practiced in the whole life will come at the time of death. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tantya kalevram tam tamiviti kontya satat bhagavita. And then he says that even if devotee forget devotion service, Lord remembers the devotion service and takes him back to Godhead. So that's why Prabhupada says we have to do both the things, maintain this body while we are living, and at the same time work for self-realization. And if you work for self-realization by practicing devotion service, devotee gets the favor of the Lord. Whereas impersonalists, they end up in getting harassed by the different type of sadhana they have and trying to deal with impersonal Brahman. And then Prabhupada talks about nine items of devotion service and how one can get perfection even by practicing one of them. So Bhakti is so easy. So somebody can read this paragraph. This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth last paragraph, which talks about all the facilities suggested in this mantra can be easily obtained. A lot of numbers are given in this paragraph.
Hare Krishna. All the facilities suggested in this mantra can be easily obtained by constant contact with the personal feature of the absolute truth. Devotional service to the Lord consists essentially of 9 transcendental activities: hearing about the Lord, glorifying the Lord, remembering the Lord, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, worshipping the Lord, offering prayers to the Lord, serving the Lord, enjoying friendly association with the Lord, and surrendering everything unto the Lord. These 9 principles of devotional service, taken all together or one by one, help a devotee remain constantly in touch with the God. In this way, at the end of life, it is easy for the devotee to remember the Lord. By adopting only one of these 9 principles, the following renowned devotees of the Lord were able to achieve the highest perfection. By hearing of the Lord, Maharaj Parikshit, the hero of Srimad Bhagavatam, attained the desired result. Just by glorifying the Lord, Sukadeva Goswami, the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, attained his perfection. By praying to the Lord, Akrura attained the desired result. By remembering the Lord, Prahlad Maharaja attained the desired result. By worshipping the Lord, Prithu Maharaja attained perfection. By serving the lotus feet of the Lord, the goddess of fortune Lakshmi attained perfection. By rendering personal service to the Lord, Hanuman attained the desired result. Through his friendship with the Lord, Arjuna attained the desired result. By surrendering everything he had to the Lord, Maharaja Bali attained the desired result. Hare Krishna.
So by practicing in one of them, one gets all the results. So, and Prabhupada says, if you want to understand this mantra more properly, read Srimad Bhagavatam. He's encouraging people to read Srimad Bhagavatam. Because the whole goal of everything is to remember Krishna. Sotavya kirtitavasya smartas chechitavayam, which Prabhupada quotes here. Everyone who desires to be free from all anxieties should always hear about, glorify, and remember the personality of Godhead, who is the supreme director of everything, the extinguisher of all difficulties, and the super soul of all living entities. So that is how one should constantly engage in devotion service. Fine. So now I'll read from other acharyas and then we'll go to the last mantra. Madhvachar. So according to him, so what he says, though the body becomes ashes, Vayu is immortal. Why is he is emphasizing on Vayu? Somebody can tell why Madhvachar is emphasizing on Vayu?
Is Vayu incarnation.
He's Vayu incarnation. So he's Vayu incarnation, and that is why he has that realization of the activities of Vayu. So he says the body becomes ashes, athidam bhasmantam sariram, but Vayur anilam amritam. Vayu is immortal because he is supported by immortal Lord. So such is the power of eternal Lord. So here Anila refers to Vayu, and Anila also refers to Anila. A means Lord and Nila means abode. So abode of the Lord. So Vayu can also refer to abode of the Lord. So because Lord knows everything, he can remember and have mercy on the devotee. So that is how he's saying that Vayu is eternal. Which is about eternal, here Vayu referring to abode of the Lord. So abode of the Lord is eternal. Vedantesika, he says, he compares Atma to Vayu. Like Vayu has a nature of nature to move here and there. Atma also has a nature to move here and there. And similarly, Atma has the nature to move here and there according to one's Vidya and Karma. So if you remember, we were talking that how this particular verses are practice of Gyan. So Gyan and Karma are practiced here and there, and for that Jiva moves here and there. So Jiva moves here and there like air without a permanent shelter, but it is eternal. However, this material body is temporary, ending in ashes at death. O Lord, Master of Jiva and the body, O Lord, approachable by actions of sacrifice and knowledge, by your mercy, please remember me. Remember all that I have done as service and compensate whatever I have omitted. So whatever practice I couldn't do, please forgive it. Give me grace mark and pass me in the exam. So it is something like that. So according to him, Jiva here refers to, Vayu refers to Jiva, not the element Vayu. So At Idam Sariram has three types of interpretation. One is the soul is eternal, whereas this body is temporarily turning into ashes. Another meaning is soul is eternal. Then after soul leaves the body turns into ashes. Third meaning can be the soul is eternal, but what can be done? Because ultimately all jivas are under control of karma, they must die. So even soul is eternal, but body is not eternal. And Om refers here to Supreme Lord. Kirta also refers to Supreme Lord, who is Kritu, ultimate doer. We are just desirer. Krishna is the ultimate doer. So that's why devotees is requesting Lord to review his previous service by saying Kirto Smar Kritam Smar. Baldev Bhushan, he says, let the subtle body merge into subtlest of elements. Let this body become ashes and fire. O Lord, give blessings. O mind, help me remember the Lord. O Lord, remember my deeds. May the Lord separate the subtle body, because subtle body is not separated till one gets liberation. Subtle body goes from one gross body to another gross body. So may Lord separate subtle body purified by Gyan and Karma from the gross body by merging the subtle body into Mahatattva. Then may the gross body be turned into ashes so that I can get liberation. Basically, it is referring to liberation. So Om is referring to Brahman according to Baldev Bhushan. So there is more for impersonalist. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what he says is, may the material life air in my body attain an eternal nature as spiritual life air enters in the spiritual world. After my subtle body passes away, may my gross body be turned to ashes. O mind, remember what you should do. Remember what you have done. So according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because devotee is referring to this particular devotee is praying for liberation, he is not a pure devotee. He is Gyan Misra Bhakta. Because devotee doesn't ask for anything. But because devotee is asking for liberation here, he is not Suddha Bhakta but Gyan Misra Bhakta, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And now last verse and last prayer. Last prayer of ISOPANISAD. Agne nae supata raye asman.
Agne naya supataraye asman.
Viswani deve vayunani vidwan.
Viswani deva vayunani vidwan.
Yodi asmad juhurnameno.
Yodi asmaj juhuranam eno.
Bhuyishtam te nam uktim vidhema.
Bhuishtham te nama uktim vidhema.
Please read translation.
O my Lord, as powerful as fire, O omnipotent one, now I offer you all obeisances, falling on the ground at your feet. O my Lord, please lead me on the right path to reach you. And since you know all that I have done in the past, please free me from the reactions to my past sins so that there will be no hindrance to my progress. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So my Lord, as powerful as fire, please lead me on the right path. Why? Because devotee is fearful that I am saying, please remember my past. Lord may remember my sins also. So whatever sins are there, you know the Lord, you know that whatever I was not so strong in my practice, then somehow burn the sins. That's why the Lord is referred as Agni. Fire has the potency to burn. Similarly, Lord has potency to burn all the sins. So devotee is referring that, please Lord, remove all the sins and let me get liberation. You can read purport also. This is like small purport. We can read entire purport.
Okay. By surrendering to the Lord and praying for his causeless mercy, the devotee can progress on the path of complete self-realization. The Lord is addressed as fire because he can burn anything into ashes, including the sins of the surrendered soul. As described in the previous mantras, the real or ultimate aspect of the Absolute is his feature as the personality of Godhead, and his impersonal Brahma Jyotir feature is a dazzling covering over his face. Fruitive activities or the Karmakanda path of self-realization is the lowest stage in this endeavor. As soon as such activities even slightly deviate from the regulative principles of the Vedas, they are transformed into vikarma, or acts against the interest of the actor. Such vikarma is enacted by the illusioned living entity simply for sense gratification, and thus such activities become hindrances on the path of self-realization. Self-realization is possible in the human form of life, but not in other forms. There are 84 lakh species or forms of life, of which the human form qualified by Brahmanical culture presents the only chance to obtain knowledge of transcendence. Brahmanical culture includes truthfulness, sense control, forbearance, simplicity, full knowledge, and full faith in God. It is not that one simply becomes proud of his high parentage. Just as being born the son of a big man affords one a chance to become a big man, so being born on the son of Brahmana gives one chance to become a Brahmana. But such a birthright is not everything, for one still has to attain the Brahmanical qualifications for himself. As soon as one becomes proud of his birth as the son of a Brahmana and neglects to acquire the qualifications of real Brahmana, he at once becomes degraded and falls from the path of self-realization. Thus, his life's mission as human being is defeated. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 41 and 42, we are assured by the Lord that the Yoga Brashtas or souls fallen from the path of self-realization are given a chance to rectify themselves by taking their birth either in the families of good Brahmanas or in the families of rich merchants. Such births afford higher chances for self-realization. If these chances are misused due to the illusion, one loses the good opportunity of human life afforded by the Almighty Lord. The regulative principles are such that one follows them is promoted from the platform of fruitive activities to the platform of transcendental knowledge. After many lifetimes of cultivating transcendental knowledge, one becomes perfect when he surrenders unto the Lord. This is the general procedure. But one who surrenders at the very beginning, as recommended in this mantra, at once surpasses all preliminary stages simply by adopting the devotional attitude. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 66, the Lord at once takes charge of such surrendered soul and frees him from all the reactions to his sinful acts. There are many sinful reactions involved in Karma Kanda activities, whereas in Jnana Kanda, the path of philosophical development, the number of such sinful activities is smaller. But in devotional service to the Lord, the path of Bhakti, there is practically no chance of incurring sinful reactions, because a devotee of the Lord attains all the good qualifications of the Lord himself. What to speak of those of a Brahmana? A devotee automatically attains the qualifications of an expert Brahmana authorized to perform sacrifices, even though the devotee may not have taken his birth in a Brahmana family. Such is the omnipotence of the Lord. He can make a man born in Brahmana family as degraded as a low-born dog-eater, and he can also make a low-born dog-eater superior to the qualified Brahmana simply on the strength of devotional service. Since the omnipotent Lord is situated within the heart of everyone, he can give directions to his sincere devotees by which they can attain the right path. Such directions are especially offered to the devotee, even if he desires something else. As far as others are concerned, God gives sanction to the doer only at the risk of the doer. But in the case of a devotee, the Lord directs him in such a way that he never acts wrongly. The Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.42 says, Supada Moolam Bhajataha Priyasya Tyaktanya Bhavasya Harihi Paresaha Vikrama Yachopattam Katanchit Dhunoti Sarvam Hridi Sannivistaha. The Lord is so kind that the devotee who is fully surrendered to his lotus feet, that even though the devotee sometimes falls into entanglement of Vikarma, acts against the Vedic directions, the Lord at once rectifies such mistakes from within his heart. This is because the devotees are very dear to the Lord. In this mantra of Sri ISOPANISAD, the devotee prays to the Lord to rectify him from within his heart. To err is human. A conditioned soul is very often apt to commit mistakes, and the only remedial measure to take against such an unintentional sins is to give oneself up to the lotus feet of the Lord, so that he may guide one to avoid such pitfalls. The Lords take charge of fully surrendered souls. Thus, all problems are solved simply by surrendering oneself unto the Lord and acting in terms of his directions. Such directions are given to the sincere devotee in two ways. One is by way of the saints, scriptures, and spiritual master, and the other is by the Lord himself, who resides within the heart of everyone. Thus, the devotee fully enlightened with Vedic knowledge is protected in all respects. Vedic knowledge is transcendental and cannot be understood by mundane educational procedures. One can understand the Vedic mantras only by the grace of the Lord and the spiritual master. Yasya deve para bhaktir, yata deve tata guru. If one takes shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, it is to be understood that he has obtained the grace of the Lord. The Lord appears as the spiritual master for the devotee. Thus, the spiritual master, the Vedic injunctions, and the Lord himself from within all guide the devotee in full strength. In this way, there is no chance for a devotee to fall again in the mire of material illusion. The devotee, thus protected all around, is sure to reach the ultimate destination of perfection. The entire process is hinted at in this mantra, and Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.17 to 20 explains it further. Hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord is itself an act of piety. The Lord wants everyone to hear and chant his glories because he is well-wisher of all living entities. By hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, one becomes cleansed of all the undesirable things, and then one's devotion becomes fixed upon the Lord. At this stage, the devotee acquires the Brahminical qualifications, and the effects of the lower modes of nature, passion and ignorance, completely vanish. The devotee becomes fully enlightened by virtue of his devotional service, and thus he comes to know the path of the Lord and the way to attain him. As all doubts diminish, he becomes a pure devotee. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of Sri ISOPANISAD, the knowledge that brings one nearer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare. So basically, Prabhupada is emphasizing at the end to practice devotion service. And simply by hearing and chanting Sarvatam Sakatha Krishna, all other things are achieved. So I'll just read from Madhvacharya what he says. So according to Madhvacharya, Vayunani refers to knowledge, Yodhi refers to separate us, and Juhunda means that which degrades us. So what he speaks is, O leader dwelling in the body, lead us on the correct path to liberation. O Lord, you know how much we know. You know how much we know. We don't know much, but you know that. Take away our degrading sins. So I told you previously in the previous verse, my dear Lord, that please remember whatever I have done, but I have committed a lot of sins also. Please remove them. We offer respects with knowledge and devotion unto you. So with knowledge and devotion, I respect you. And within this case says, O leader of all beings, perform a pastime, you know everything. Lead us to knowledge through practices which yield enough wealth to maintain our bodies. So give us enough wealth to maintain the bodies and destroy the obstacles which create crookedness in us. So there are obstacles which make us deviate from the path. Please remove the obstacles. We offer respect to you saying Namaha repeatedly. So wealth can also refer to spiritual wealth. So Agni indicates Supreme Lord because he acts through the body of Agni. And Agni also means Agranayan, one who leads in the front position. So he is leader of the entire creation. So manifest in us knowledge by right method, Supatha, by a method devoid of any trace of forbidden acts. Okay, alternative meaning can be, O Lord, endowed with suitable, wonderful pastimes which will be awarded to us who desire them. Produce in us your unallowed devotees, surrender only to you, with no other goal, by proper means of gaining wealth, all types of knowledge. So from a devotion perspective, Vedanta discusses, devotees praying that I just want to surrender to you. I don't want any other goal. Just surrender to you. So I'll just read from Baldev Vidyabhushan now. O Lord of pastimes, O fire, lead us on the splendid path to the treasure of liberation. I want to go to the treasure of liberation. You know all our actions and thoughts. Destroy our sins which distracts us from you. May we offer respect repeatedly to you. So according to him, mantra number 15 and 16 were prayers for direct vision, and mantra number 18 and 17 are prayers for liberation. Now last one by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. End. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays, O Agni, purifier, guide us on the right path to the highest spiritual treasure. O Lord, since you understand our extent of knowledge, Knowledge of the world and consequently detachment from it. Knowledge of God and devotion. Please lead us there. Destroy our obstructing sins. We repeatedly offer you respects. So what basically, according to Bhakti Thakur, has happened is, Jiva was saying, "Oh Lord, remember what I have done." And he remembers, "My God, I have done previous sins also." So remembering his previous sins, he becomes very anxious about liberation. That I told Lord that please remember what I have done, but I have done sins that may obstruct my liberation. So he requests Lord, please purify them. And that is why he refers to Lord as Agni. That like a fire burns everything to ashes, destroy all my previous sins so that I can get liberation. So according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there are 3 levels of knowledge. There is Vishwagyan, knowledge of the universe, which we need for living in this world. Then there is Iswargyan, and which is also called Vigyan. That is the knowledge of the Supreme Lord, that is higher. But highest one is, so we can see other religions, they talk about Vigyan. Their knowledge of the Lord. Lord is this, Lord is that, He's created this, He has created that. But then highest knowledge is Bhakti Gyan, which is also called Pragyan, that is knowledge of devotion service. So that is available only for devotees, no one else. That is the highest knowledge. So he ends, so that is how all other religions may be giving some knowledge of God, which is at least better than the worldly knowledge, but our knowledge is the highest, devotion service highest. So that's called Pragyan. And then he ends with a very beautiful verse. Tattadana muneyo jnana vairagya yuktaya pasyanti atmani chatmanam bhaktya sutagrihitaya. The seriously inquisitive student or sage, well acquainted with knowledge and detachment, realizes that absolute truth by rendering devotion service in terms of what he has heard from Vedanta Shruti. So whatever we read here from Guru Sadhu Sastra, we practice it along with knowledge and detachment, and that is how we can realize the absolute truth. So that's like end of ISOPANISAD. So I'll just give a brief summary now, how ISOPANISAD, we went through ISOPANISAD. So invocation, anyway, I told is not a part of ISOPANISAD, but it has been included by other acharyas like Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That's why Prabhupada has included that. Mantra number 1 talks about Lord is the controller and owner of everything. So knowing this, accept whatever is your quota, don't put eye on another's quota. Mantra number 2 says, if somebody lives with the consciousness of mantra number 1, knowing Lord is controller and owner of everything, he can live in this world for hundreds of years and not get entangled in this world. Mantra number 3 says that those who don't follow the consciousness of mantra number 1, they enter in the worlds of asuras, faithless people, which is full of darkness and ignorance. Mantra number 4 and mantra number 5, they discuss how Lord is beyond material dualities. He can stand, still be swifter than the swiftest person. So like that contradiction, through contradictions, Lord's excellence is shown. How is within everything and outside everything, like that. Then mantra number 6 and mantra number 7, that discusses about vision of Mahabhagavats. One who sees Lord everywhere, he doesn't hate anyone because he has love for everyone. And for him, there is no illusion, there is no anxiety. So mantra number 6 and 7. Mantra number 8, if you remember, I told it is like a clip. Mantra number 8, first 2 lines explain how Lord is not material. Lord doesn't have material body. And last 2 lines explain that Lord has spiritual qualities which shows that he is a person. So first 2 verses say that he has no material qualities. First 2 lines. And last 2 lines show that how he has all spiritual qualities. That shows that he is a person. That's mantra number 8. Mantra number 9 says that those who engage in only avidya, they go in darkness, but those who engage only in vidya go to a deeper darkness. So we explain that. Mantra number 10 says same thing, that they have different result. Vidya, avidya have a difference. They don't have same result, they have different result. That's why mantra number 11 says that vidya and avidya have to practice side by side. Practice varnasana, at the same time cultivate the knowledge of soul. I am not body, I am soul. Mantra number 12 says that those who worship demigods enter in region of darkness, but those who worship only impersonal absolute, they go in deeper darkness. Because they don't realize that even Lord has a form. Mantra number 13 says similar thing. Worship of demigods and impersonal Brahman, they have different results. Not all paths lead to same goal. Not like that. They have different results. And mantra number 14 says that one should know both. How God is creator of this material world also, and how is creator of the spiritual world also. Both. Then one can live in this world at the same time, be Krishna conscious all the time. And mantra number 15 onwards are just prayers. So mantra number 15 is a request to the Lord that please remove the golden effulgence so that I can see your face. And mantra number 16 is more like a bribe, as I told, saying the Lord that, my dear Lord, I am also Sachidanand, you also Sachidanand, so we are friends, we are family members. So please remove the golden effulgence so that I can see your face. And Lord is also referred by different demigods named to show that how Lord has all the qualities of all demigods. Vishnu has all demigods are part and parcel of Vishnu. Mantra number 17. There is a request that, my dear Lord, let me get rid of gross body, subtle body. Remember whatever spiritual practices I have done before. And then devotee becomes fearful, but I have done sins also before. So that's why in mantra number 18, he prays to the Lord that you are like Agni, fire burns everything. Similarly, you also burn whatever sins were there. Whatever are obstacles to liberation, remove them and let me get liberation now. So you know everything. You know what sins I had committed, remove them, destroy them. You know that I was not perfect in my practice also. Wherever imperfection was there, please remove the imperfection also. And bestow your grace so that I can enter in the spiritual realm. So that is how ISOPANISAD ends. So this summary of entire ISOPANISAD. Okay. So anybody has any question, we can answer. Otherwise, we'll end here. And then we'll
Hare
start
Krishna Prabhu. So you were telling that in other religions there was no bhakti. I'm not aware of that. Can you tell more on that, like what they teach and why there is no bhakti there?
There's no bhakti because there's no awareness of even the form of the Lord.
Okay.
Like you talk about whether you talk about Christianity or Islam or Buddhism or anyone, they have no understanding of form of the Lord. Other Jains also, none of them have the understanding of form of the Lord.
Yeah, so but they do go to church or mosque and do prayers. So that is for what? Like what can we infer from that? Like it is not bhakti or.
So that's as I was Prabhupada was referring, or sorry, Bhakti was referring. It's called pragyan. So there is Vishwagyan, knowledge of universe which everyone has, how to maintain oneself. Then there is Vigyan, knowledge of Lord, that God is someone great whom I have to surrender to.
Okay.
So even demigod worshipper also think like that only.
Okay.
They say Ganesh is in God or Karthika is God. See, other religions also, at least these people have know the form of the Lord, demigod, in Vedic culture. Okay, you have wrong understanding, but at least you understand that this particular person has a form and I can devote to him. But those who don't know how Lord looks like, it's not possible to have devotion. That's why practice of devotion service is called pragyan. Pragyan means you know how God looks like, what are his spiritual qualities, whatever his activities, what is his address and how can I reach there. So only then you can have a relationship.
Okay.
So that's why other religions they have. It's like when this what was his name? Leonardo Vinci or someone. When he wanted to make the form of Lord, God and man. So he asked from different, he searched in Bible, he couldn't find it. He went to different priest, he couldn't find the form of the Lord. So then if you see there's a photograph where man is showing a finger and God is like an old man who's trying to catch a finger from the other side. It's a very famous painting. You must have seen many places. So I don't remember the name of the painter. So he couldn't find. So if you see in that photograph, man is looking more beautiful than God. Because what he understood is God is like an old man, he's like father, so he must be old man. So he has made God like an old man and man is like a young man. So that is why they don't have understanding. And what to say of Islam, they don't even believe in form of God. They have some mention like log, Allah's eye and this and that. But ultimately they say, no, this is like a few statements here and there. So they may speak very loudly, but they don't have sense that even if you speak loudly, if God doesn't have ear, how will he hear? God needs to have an ear, na? Then only he'll hear. Na? So they have no awareness of form of the Lord. So we have that awareness of the form of the Lord. That's why we can have that relationship with the Lord. Else one can't have a relationship with the Lord. So for knowing relationship, you have to know about that person very nicely. Like even if you see whether it is in husband-wife relationship or no boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, wherever, people try to understand other person. What he likes, he doesn't like, he likes, doesn't like, how he looks, home, this, that. But when you don't know anything, where is the question of having love? Okay.
Okay, bro. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Manjunath bro.
Hare Krishna, Uji Dhanat Pranam. Prabhuji, we by reading the Sastras, by hearing lectures from the senior acharyas, we understood we have a form of God. Lord hear everything. But other for the Muslim and other people, they don't have a form of God. So when we get into that kind of situation, how can we explain, or we have to just stop the discussion, move out of the scenario?
See, it depends on what type of person he is. If he's a person who's open-minded, then we can tell to him that if you have love me, there has to be person. If you are shouting so loudly, then somebody has to be there who should hear. If he doesn't have ears, how can he hear? So we can talk on logical level, but most of the people are not logical. They're sentimental. So if you tell them, they may become angry and they say, hey, no, our religion is the greatest. And they're very forceful and illogical most of the times. Then there is no use of just talking to them. It's like just get away. Those are open-minded, devotees can talk to them. Like many ISKCON devotees are from other religions. And they were open-minded people. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj in the West, now he was so strong. He would often use this argument. He said that you are talking about love of God. Do you know how God looks like? What are his activities? What do you do with the Lord? What are his qualities? Who are his relatives? What is his address? If you want to know about all these things, come to us. We'll tell you. Makes sense? So then they go in a progressive path. They understood about that Lord is supreme. We want to surrender to him. But then how to progress further, then they can take to Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, their progress is just stunted there. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so we'll end here. Sri ISOPANISAD ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Tagore Premanande.
Prabhu, next class, we are taking something different, or we have to take some time and complete this exam or something?
So what I will do, I'll talk to Prabhuji, but I prefer that let the classes go on.
Okay.
Because anyway, none of the exams are finished till now. So then we can make one timetable separately for exams, write all open book, closed book, everything. and one shot do everything in 1-2 months.
Okay.
Otherwise, what happens is it's like I didn't got a open book answer even for the first unit. Nothing. I didn't get anything to check till now.
Yes.
So let the wholesale thing will be end now. So devotees can now read NOD. We'll start from NOD in the next class.
Okay.
You nicely understood all these fallen souls from Puram Yatra, Babuji.
What?
You understood nicely all these fallen souls from Puram or